And hello, welcome back to the house, the Wish House, that is. I'm Chris Spinner, and away we go. So the other day, somebody asked the question, if you could speak to your teenage self, what would you say in just 3 words? That was hard for me. I had a million words and probably could have put them in little 3-word phrases, but I ended up saying, you are worthy. And I think I ended up saying that because I now know that I'm a person who is worthy. But I don't think I knew that when I was young. I don't think I knew that I was worthy of having my heart's desire, that anything and everything was for the taking. And I'm trying to think if that's generational. Did my parents not know how to instill that? Or is it something I just missed? Anyway, 3 words, thinking about it again, I think what I should have said was, you can do anything. Well, that's 4 words. Or how about the sky's the limit? That's 4 words too. How about just sky's the limit? How about you don't have to listen to all the things your parents are telling you can or cannot do, and you can carve your own road out of the wilderness? Okay, that's too many words. But I think all of that is what I would tell my teenage self. And maybe have courage. That might be the most important one. But where do you get courage? It's so easy for people to say, have the courage. Where do you get the courage? You have to be raised to find the courage. And this is why I say that parenting is so damn important. This is why parenting is an elite art form, because it is your responsibility to give the foundations for an authentic life to another human being. You're not putting all of your hopes and dreams into another human being. You're not putting all of your neuroses into another human being. We just kind of fly by the seat of our pants when we're parents. Oh my God. I mean, I think that's why psychotherapists have a fabulous business, because there's always somebody to treat from parenting. Not bad parenting. Well, there is bad parenting, but I'm not talking about bad parenting. I'm simply talking about parenting, because think about it. We go into this job, which is the most important job you'll ever have, with 0 knowledge. We fly by the seat of our pants. There's not a lot of courses in it. I mean, some places do offer courses, how to be good parents, but they usually help you to tell your kids to eat something healthy, or make sure you're kind and encouraging, and while you're at it, don't tell them that they can't sing. But I think that it's okay for us to feel like it's good to just wing it, because when it comes to parenting, somebody was just winging it for us, and somebody was winging it for the people who are winging it for us. So then we just kind of sit around and tell each other that it's okay, that we're doing the best we can, which of course we all are. When I was younger, I didn't like the phrase doing their best or doing the best they can as it related to my parents. When I was younger, I felt not happy with a good portion of the emotional quotient of parenting that I received. And the mantra is in our family was, everyone is just doing their best. And I felt like that was a cop-out. I felt like it was a pass for not investigating better ways to parent, for not having a more open mind, for not being more available to the idea of what parenting really is or what parenting really could be. But now, that phrase is really okay. The most comforting thing for me is to be able to own that statement, especially as it relates to my parents. They really did do their best. They really did do the best that they could, and I've come to grips with that. I've come to understand that, and while it doesn't change the kind of parenting I received, it just makes me understand them better. Kind of makes me even love them a little more, especially now that my parents are gone. But I feel I can't remind them of how appreciative I am of their efforts, even though I had plenty of time to relay that to my mom and a little less time to relate it to my dad. Lost my dad instantaneously. He was there on Sunday night, gone on Monday morning. Where with my mom, I had her many years. She was in a frail state, but she had her mind. So I was able to say many things to my mom that I had wanted to say before she left. But my mom wasn't a great receiver of deep personal conversation. As I've said before, she would say often, "Not everyone thinks like you, Chrysanda." To which I would reply, "Too bad." One of the things that I have been kind of playing around with in my own self-care journey is the idea of parenting myself. What did I want to learn from them? What did I want to learn from my parents? Maybe it's time for me to teach myself. Maybe it's time for me to teach that inner child. Even though my inner child is pretty much integrated, I guess there'll always be a little glimmer of her. And if I were going to become my own parent, what are the lessons that I would think to be the most important for me to learn or relearn at this point in my journey? So let's take this opportunity. Let's become our own parents. So here we go. Lessons you may have been taught, I'm betting you were not taught, should have been taught. And being that it's not too late, we're going to teach and preach and learn them today. Let's do 3. In no particular order, I'm starting with courage. Have courage to be yourself. Really easy to say. I hear it all the time, and I say it all the time. But I don't think we can just do that. I think it has to be encouraged and nurtured. And it has a risk element. And all of that is asking you to be vulnerable. And if you're starting out now on a big courage seek as an adult, being vulnerable is a lot harder than it would have been when you were younger. If you had I'm going to teach you how to be courageous parent, might have been easier as an adult. But no more looking for excuses. We're the parent now. So here's how it goes. You're going to have to learn to put yourself out there for the thing that you want, for the idea that you want to share, for the joy and the bliss that you want to be in. I'm going to give you a little story. So the other day I saw a video on Instagram of a young girl that I know quite well. Her family and I are very close. I watched the kids grow up. I taught with her mom. As a matter of fact, her mom and I ran the musical theater program in our school together. So I'm a very close friend of the family. And I got to watch the dynamics of that family. And I always say to the mom that I think she and her husband were the epitome of great parenting. And they always laugh at me when I say that because they think they've made so many mistakes and failed in so many ways, as we all do. They don't tend to see their success. I'm the person looking in from the outside. And I have to tell you, their story, like all of our stories, is not smooth as silk. But their own confidence in who they are, separate from one another in their marriage, really garners so much respect between the two of them. It's almost palatable. And that spills out into the way they raise their kids, with respect for their kids as human beings and not extensions of themselves. In any case, I saw this reel. The young girl sits down with her guitar and shares that she had recently seen a film, and because of this film, she was inspired to write an original song from the messages she got after having watching the film. And she simply put on the camera and basically communicated, I'm going to share my music with you, I'm going to share my lyrics with you, I'm going to share my guitar playing with you, and off she went. I think she's 18, maybe 19. I don't think she's 19 yet. And in that moment, I was in awe of her confidence, her willingness to take a risk and to put her thoughts and ideas and creation out there. And I thought, I didn't have that courage at that age. I didn't have that confidence at that age. And here's a secret. There's still a small part of me that doesn't have it now. But maybe that's just being human. In any case, she sang the song, and I was really impressed with the lyrics. I thought they were quite deep for someone so young. But I know her for so long, I'm not surprised that there's such a depth of spirit there. And the little chordal structure of the song was pleasant. She was so comfortable in her own moment. She simply turned on the camera and sang her song. Didn't giggle, didn't say self-deprecating things. She just sang her song. And the expectation was that you would enjoy what she did. And she mentioned that she was open to comments. I thought that was amazing. Her demeanor was amazing. She was demonstrating pure courage. And I realized it's because her parents never limited her ideas, never limited her perspective, never limited an era she was in, never limited the path in which she wanted to go and who she thought she was developing to be. She experienced that in her upbringing, a strong underlying thread of encouragement to develop her better self, her authentic self, simply striving to be a good human and to have a better day. So now I'm parenting myself with that. I'm giving myself the grace to be vulnerable, to open up, to speak my truth, even if my voice shakes, as they say, to take my risk. And it's hard. It's hard to do these things when you're not used to doing them. And it's even harder to do these things when you didn't even know that not doing them was a problem in your life and that was holding you back. Okay, sometimes I make a point that I think I need to say again, so I'm going to say it again. It's hard to do these things when you're not used to doing them. And it's even harder to do these things when you didn't even know that not doing them was a problem in your life and was probably holding you back. So I'm telling myself, be of great courage. And I'm reparenting myself by giving myself little opportunities to feel a win. I don't think there's a better feeling than taking that risk and coming out on the other side all the better for it. There's a saying, which of course I'm mixing up in the delivery, but it's something like, there's so much regret in not taking a chance. It's more painful than taking the risk and failing, because if you didn't try, you would never know. And then that's going to haunt you. So I'm working on my courage. I'm singing my song with simple chords and great lyrics. Lesson number 2. We need to find the knowledge of the difference between nice and doormat. This is a hard one. This is a hard one for me because in my family, putting up with others' mess that spills into your life is called being nice. I even say the word like my mom used to say it. She was a big one. You have to be nice. So I grew up subliminally learning that allowing people to be rude, to disrespect me, to be condescending, to mistreat me was okay in the name of nice. Until I realized that that's not a nice gesture, because in these situations, I'm not showing kindness or being there for the other human being. What I'm actually doing is being afraid of losing the other person or the situation. What I'm actually doing is not being courageous enough to let the other person know who I really am, mostly because I'm actually afraid once they know me, then they won't want to engage with me anymore. But wouldn't it stand to reason that that wouldn't be a loss, but an alignment to who I am? That form of people-pleasing is in the long run going to be draining and very disillusioning. The nicest thing you can do for yourself and for others is to take that courage and draw your line in the sand. What are your non-negotiables? Don't stay where things don't feel good. Seek out the other spaces and people that keep you in a state of alignment and happiness. What does that quote from Rumi say? What you are seeking is seeking you. So now I'm working on my non-negotiables. I'm parenting myself into finding small ways to let people know what I think, who I am, and congratulating myself when I do it in bravery and connected to my newfound courage. And third, believing that anything is possible. If you can visualize it, you can have it. Thoughts become things, but it takes work. Work on your path may lead you away from your home, your friends, your families. Decisions are going to have to be made. You have to make them in your heart. You have to take time to know what is right, and you will know it. You will feel it if you have the courage to meet yourself. And it's not too late, 66 here, and still meeting me. And if you need to take counsel, take it from people who have your best interest at heart, not who have your heart in their hands. A difference there. Oftentimes, a loved one is going to give you advice from their heart. They're going to give you counsel from their heart. It's going to be what they want for you, what they see for you. It may be what they want from you. An example, moving away from the family. No one wants their child to fly out of the nest, especially if it's a long flight. Now, that doesn't mean not to trust your loved ones. What it means is to seek additionally somebody who sees you for who you are and helps you to discover the who, the why, and the where you are and should be. All the time remembering we make decisions with the knowledge we have at the time of our decision making. Everything is fluid. Everything changes. So what feels good to you? What do you want to accomplish? With positivity and possibility, it is all for the taking. What chapter are you in your journey on this planet? I'm in chapter 3. I'm striving, I'm thriving, and being a parent to myself. Yes, there are still things to learn from mommy me. What did you miss? Teach it to yourself. And see, now there's no excuse because we have the best parents built into ourselves. Now I got to work on the traditional mommy cooks healthy meals part and stop making reservations. I crack myself up. Go out and sing your song.